Yo, what up YouTube? It's your boy AM coming to you with an AM vlog. Shout out to the Day and Night Game 2024. This vlog is kind of special because I think this is my 60th vlog that I've done. It's going to begin at the beginning of the new year, which is a nice little synchronicity of timelines converging together. Another thing that I think is pretty awesome is that at the beginning of the year, I always do New Year's resolutions. And before we jump into 2024, we need to do a recap of 2023 and how well we did. And so what I'm going to do in this vlog is I'm going to give you a little bit more about my resolutions that I've been doing on YouTube for 2 years. I always do a New Year's resolution, but I never shared it with anybody until a couple years ago. And as you can see, it didn't go too well. I mean, obviously, midway through the year, I kind of did my recap and nothing really changed. I didn't try to make any improvements whatsoever. So one of the things I wanted to do was just drink only water, but I did at the beginning of the year, but it fell off. And then towards the end, I was just drinking everything. Sodas, energy drinks, all that kind of stuff. So I gave myself an F, and I'll still continue to give myself an F, and it is pretty awesome. Pretty terrible, not awesome. I don't know why I said that. And then one was B, the algorithm was to make more AMPM content. We kind of fell off here and there is because we just got so busy, and it's hard to consistently put out content when you're basically kind of a one-person show. I call it a one person band. That's kind of what I am, and I get the most enjoyment out of making videos and sharing it with everybody. I love making art, and that's kind of like one of the driving forces. I feel like there's a part of me that needs to create art, and it has to be in whatever medium it is, but for whatever reason I always kind of fell in love with video, and I'm glad that I do it for y'all. Last one was create spaces. This was a big project that I wanted to do, was declutter our apartment. The problem is that we kind of are pack rats, and I wanted to like minimize things, but I just never had the opportunity to do so. I do so a little bit at a time, but it was never consistent enough where it was just like, okay, it's like I keep dumping stuff and then PM keeps dumping it back into our apartment. So it's just like, it's a cycle of just the new stuff coming in, old stuff going out. And we haven't got to a place where we're comfortable just having all the stuff that we have, and that's it. Pocket watching, just managing our finances. Personally, I do a very good job. Not a knock to anybody at the AMPM house, but PM tends not to be very good at managing the money and make cool stuff. We did some pretty cool stuff this year. We kind of helped with some people, do some collaborations and things like that, so it turned out all pretty well. I wanted to do more, and I didn't get an A+ for it.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Kind of how I operate as a person is that if I understand the system very well, it's easy for me to optimize it. But the problem is, with all these goals that I have put in place, it's very hard for me to like get to that point. There's been certain times where I've had that mindset, because a lot of these stuff that I'm trying to do in my previous New Year's resolution, a lot of it has to do with like time, as well as having the vision going forward. Like just drinking nothing but water, that requires you to have a strong will to be able to do that consistently. It's been really difficult for me. Same thing with like other things. Money is very easy because you can see the numbers and you can chart the graph, and it's very simple solution. It's like, don't buy stuff, and then you have more money. There's like really no science to it. It's just like, you know, figuring out the comfort levels of like, you know, how do you maintain your happiness as well as saving money. And that's just kind of like easy to see, because there's like finance apps, there's finance gurus and everything. You just gotta listen to them and then just implement any one of their techniques, and for the most part you'll find like, you know, success in that. So that part of like my New Year's resolution is easy to do, but when it comes to the other stuff, so like decluttering our house, it's hard because it's just one person that's doing it and another person doesn't care. It's just like, you know, I have to like, you know, figure out how to get them involved, as well as me to be having dedication to continually doing that. And it just becomes really difficult. And so I've been caught in this like flux where I do complete some of my resolutions and I don't. And so that's just kind of the mindset I'm going into 2024. Right here is my New Year's resolution for 2024. that I will share with y'all going forward. And guess what? I am not going to set any New Year's resolutions this year. I know that's kind of weird for me personally because I usually set resolutions, but this year I'm going to take a break. And what I'm going to do is I put a little note at the bottom that says I'll go where the wind takes me. So there's basically me collecting data. I think if I can do that for this year, it would help out a lot in terms of having more success in my resolutions instead of just being 50-50, where I can get more to like an 80% to 90%, things like that. Because a lot of the resolutions that I put on me that I found to be successful is for me personally, but when it comes to like, a joint resolution where it involves, PM, it doesn't really tend to like work very well. So it's just, I need to figure out where those pain points are so that I can figure out a system to help them kind of reach the goal that I'm looking for, and I think that they would appreciate, even though it may not be something that they're wanting to do personally. I think there'd be benefits from it. So no resolutions this year. Basically, I'm just going to be taking data, and how I'm going to do that is going to be very, very simple. Cool. And that is peaks and valleys. And so this is like highs and lows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where we're really successful at over this year, and then what we're not very successful at, and then kind of like figuring out what is working and what's not working. If it's working really, really well, we keep doing that, and the ones that was not working well, we have to figure out a system that we're both on. And I think for the most part, the resolutions that I have that are like involved, not just AM but also PM, I need to show them that this is where we're at the bottom of this valley, and we need to get up above it. And for whatever reason, they don't seem to like understand that, because they only view things not necessarily like in terms of like systematic as I do, and they're on the opposite end of that spectrum. They're all about emotions. It's like if it feels good, it's fine, and that doesn't necessarily works because even if you know it feels good, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the very best. And for me personally, that's what I'm kind of striving for. It's just trying to do the best you can. I think that's what the whole purpose of life is, just trying to get better and better and better, and just be a better person and be good. Overall, I think, my life personally has been very enjoyable. I haven't had too many complaints, but there, obviously it's not like, it could be better. It always could be better. And why not try? How do I level up? And just think of it in the sense of video game, which, is good and which is also kind of bad. And that is it. I won't have any resolutions for this year. I am going to just collect all the data, and just be able to like figure out where we're really good at, and just let that run as succinctly as possible, and then also look where we need to improve. And maybe hopefully that when there's those resolutions that require both people to build together, that information can show like this is where you're lacking in, and this is where how you can improve. And I think being able to show that instead of saying it doesn't necessarily will make it a little bit more easier for people to kind of understand. As AMPM, what I'm trying to do is be able to like communicate well enough so that we can see the peak and reach it. All right, so I think that's a lot of information that I shared with you. I just kind of like threw a lot of stuff at you, and hopefully you're able to follow along and understand where I'm coming from. And other than that, I give you peace.